All right, let's talk about a huge idea in economics: perfect competition. It's kind of like the theoretical gold standard for what a market should be. But here's the big question we're going to tackle. Is it actually a brilliant blueprint for an efficient economy, or is it just, well, a myth, a fantasy that has nothing to do with the real world? Let's dive in and find out.
Okay, so just for a minute, let's play a little game. What if we could design a market from the ground up, a totally blank slate? I mean, think about it. No monopolies, no secret deals, no one with a hidden advantage. Just pure, unadulterated, open competition. So, what would that even look like? What kind of rules would you need to make something like that actually work? That's exactly the thought experiment we're running today.
So, to get this perfect market off the ground, economists came up with a pretty strict set of rules, like a blueprint. There are these core conditions that just have to be in place. Let's break down what it takes to build this theoretical economic utopia. Okay, so it really all comes down to 5 main rules. First up, you need a ton of buyers and sellers. I mean, so many that no single player, no one company or person has any power to change the price. Makes sense, right? No single boss calling the shots. Number 2, all the products have to be identical. They're perfect substitutes. Think about it like this. One farmer's wheat is exactly the same as the next farmer's. Number 3, perfect information. Everybody knows everything about prices and quality instantly. No secrets. Fourth, it has to be easy to get in and out of the market. No big barriers stopping you from starting up a business or shutting one down. And finally, number 5, resources like labor and capital can move around freely, going wherever they're needed most. It's a pretty strict list. All right, so we've got our blueprint, the perfect market is built, but what's it actually like for a business trying to operate in this world? Well, let me tell you, it's a world where you have zero control over one of the most important things: the price.
Yeah, in this world, every firm, every single one, is what economists call a price taker. The market, this huge impersonal force, sets one price for the product, and you just have to accept it. That's it. Period. Think about it. If you try to charge even 1 cent more, what happens? Your customers will just instantly go to one of the thousands of other businesses selling the exact same thing. You don't get to make the price. You just take the price.
And this is such a cool way to see what that actually means. On the left, you've got the demand for the whole market. It slopes down just like you'd expect. The higher the price, the less people buy. But now look at the right. That's the demand curve for your little company. It's a perfectly flat horizontal line. What that's telling you is you can sell as much as you can possibly produce at that one market price, but you have absolutely no power, zero, to move that price up or down yourself. So you've got all these firms, they're all price takers, they all have this perfectly flat demand curve. So what? What's the big payoff for all these strict rules? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. This whole setup leads to something economists get super excited about: peak economic efficiency. Let's break down what that means. Okay, first you get something called allocative efficiency. A fancy term, right? But all it really means is that as a society, we're making the right stuff. We're producing the exact mix of goods and services that people actually want. This happens when the price you're willing to pay for something is exactly equal to the cost of making just one more of it. Everything's in perfect balance. No waste. And then there's the second piece of the puzzle: productive efficiency. So if allocative efficiency is about making the right stuff, productive efficiency is about making that stuff the right way. It means everything is being produced at the absolute lowest possible cost. That cutthroat competition we talked about, it forces every single company to be as lean and mean as possible. If you're not, you just won't survive. And this is the climax. This is where it all comes together in this beautiful, elegant equation. P equals MC equals the minimum of ATC, the triple equality. Just think about what that's saying. The price you pay is exactly what it costs to make the last unit, and that price is the absolute lowest possible average cost. It's perfect. Consumers get the lowest prices, society gets what it wants, and it's all made in the most efficient way. On paper, you just can't beat it. So that sounds pretty incredible, doesn't it? A perfectly oiled, self-regulating machine that delivers the best of all worlds. It's almost too good to be true. And yeah, this is where our perfect theory slams right into the messy, complicated wall of reality. So does this perfect world actually exist anywhere? The short answer? Nope. Not even close. I mean, sure, some markets get kinda close, like massive agricultural markets where wheat is wheat, or huge currency exchanges. But in the real world, has any market ever perfectly met all 5 of those super strict rules? No. Information is never truly perfect. Products are almost always different, even if it's just branding. The model just doesn't map perfectly onto reality. And this leads us to a really big, kind of mind-bending problem with the whole idea. The famous economist Joseph Schumpeter put his finger right on it. He basically argued that this perfect, static world is actually the enemy of real progress. Just stop and think about that for a second. If you're in a world where any extra profit you make is immediately wiped out by competition, and any new idea you have is instantly copied by everyone, why would you ever bother to innovate in the first place?
And this really breaks down that clash of ideas perfectly. The model of perfect competition, it describes a world of static competition. It's a frozen-in-time bottle fought only on price. But the real world? That's all about dynamic competition. It's a messy, creative, nonstop battle of innovation, new discoveries, and constant improvement. In that real world, profit isn't some evil thing to be stamped out. It's the temporary reward that fuels all that progress in the first place.
Okay, so at this point, you might be thinking, wait a minute. If this model is totally unrealistic and it misses the most important part of a real economy, innovation, then why on earth do we even talk about it? Why is it like lesson 1 in every Econ 101 class? And that's a fair question. The reason we bother is because its value isn't in describing reality perfectly. Its value is as a tool. Think of it like a physicist using the idea of a completely frictionless surface. Does that exist? Of course not. But you can't begin to understand the laws of motion without it. Perfect competition is the same for economics. It gives us this clean, clear benchmark. It lets us measure just how far real-world markets, like monopolies, stray from this ideal of efficiency. It's the foundation we need to build on to understand how all other markets really work. So that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. If a perfect market, by the book, actually kills off the innovation that makes our lives better, then what does the best market really look like? It's probably not perfect, but some messy, dynamic mix of things. It's a huge question and one worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me on this one.